The Chinese president set to arrive in Russia for a 4-day state visit. Let's get some analysis with Matthew Sussex. He's from ANU. He's a Russia expert and China too, actually. Matthew, great to see you. Tell me, what's the visit about and how significant is it?
Well, look, Kieran, this is a visit to commemorate the 80th anniversary of victory over Nazi Germany. Typically, the Kremlin puts on a big military parade for these types of events every year. Given it's the 80th anniversary, Putin wants to make an even bigger show, and Xi Jinping is going to be his number one guest. So for Putin, I think a lot of it is about optics. Showing that, Xi is prepared to travel to Moscow. The third time, in fact, he's been to Russia since the Kremlin launched its war against Ukraine in several years ago. And, I think the Russian perspective here is that this is kind of the face of the new world order, that the old one is gone, and that a new one, with China and Russia very much in the hot seat, in the box seat, is the one that's going to drive forward relations for the rest of the world for the foreseeable future.
How deep are the strategic ties between those two countries?
Yeah, well, it used to be that Russia and China, were hostile towards one another. They, waged artillery duels during the Cold War. But once the Cold War ended, Russia and China started getting closer and closer, to a point now where Putin and Xi have met many, many times. And it is a very, very close relationship. It's close in terms of economic ties. It's close in terms of military ties as well, particularly. And if not an alliance, then certainly it's very much a sense of alignment against the West, against what the West stands for. And as I say, this sort of new face of a new world order, with Xi and Putin at the helm.
When you look to the turbulence out of the White House and the way that the Trump tariffs have flowed through to not just Australia but to China and elsewhere, what's this message that these two leaders are sending to their own domestic audience, if any?
Well, certainly the message from Putin to his domestic audience is, I am strong, I am in charge, and I'm advancing Russia's interests. Xi Jinping, I think, has to be a little bit more circumspect and a little bit more careful. There's certainly strong support within China for close relations with Russia. But at the same time, what Xi is trying to do, both internally and externally, is promote a view of China as the stable country, the stable major power. And, if the narrative takes off too much, that, he is prepared to have a very, very close relationship with one of the biggest rule breakers in the world, Vladimir Putin, then that might, again, start casting doubt on the extent to which Xi can say, well, China is the sensible great power in the room, with America in domestic chaos and Russia busy launching land wars in Europe.
Yeah, particularly given, and just finally on that issue of the land war and Ukraine, China's message that it could even be an arbiter when it comes to that ongoing conflict.
Yeah, and this is a significant evolution, I think, in China's preparedness to step up and get involved in disputes. I'm not necessarily sure how far that will go. Certainly, you wouldn't have thought the United States would be too keen on it. You wouldn't have thought the European Union would be too keen on it, and probably not Ukraine either. But nonetheless, it's signaling from Xi Jinping's perspective that not only are we prepared to, be a country that has good, friendly relations with pretty much everybody in terms of trade, but we're prepared to take on a leadership role which is well outside China's traditional area of interest. And that's, I think, a pretty significant development.
Matthew Sussex from ANU, thank you for your time and your insights. Appreciate it.